How to become a better dog handler in 5 minutes. In today's video, I'm going to share a live Zoom meeting with one of our students, and the discussion was about obedience. And it was all about, should I choose power or precision when it comes to healing? So let's get started. Let's go further ahead with this healing. The challenge is that we need, on the one hand, a lot of power and motivation in healing, correct? And now when we have a dog that is full of power and motivation, it may end up that a dog is jumping a little bit, or he is a little crowding, or he is a little forging, these small things. And of course, you will lose points for that. So on the other hand, let's say we have, this is a matter of fact, we have concentration. So, and the goal is now to find the balance from it. Means if our dog is too focused and concentrated and we have a lack of motivation, this is the moment when you see an obedience and you're like, yeah, you cannot deduct points. Correct, he sits, not forging, but something is missing. And this is the part of motivation, correct? As I said, on the other hand, if you have a dog with too much power, then you have a lack of concentration, and then he is maybe a little forging. He's not sitting in the basic position when you throw the dumbbell. Maybe he whines a little bit. And you won't score an excellent here as well. So the challenge is to find that right balance. Now, top trainers are really capable to do that on the dot. What do I mean by that? It is super, super hard. It is, for me, almost mission impossible to keep that balance the entire year. I can tell you one thing. When I go out now with my dog, he usually is, when he's not full in training, I have usually a lack of concentration. Not concentration is the wrong word. It's actually the technical part. Let's put it this way. That means if I stop, sometimes he is not sitting 100%. He's a little bit hovering, or he's a little forging, So bottom line, when I'm not in competition mode, I have more motivation, more power, and a lack of technical parts. And then only when it comes to the trials and competitions, I try to adjust that. And since I know my dog, and I've done this multiple times before I go to that trial, this is the moment when we, you remember in the school that roadmap, we have trial preparation, CMS, conflict management system, remove helps, and then stimulus control. And at that point, stimulus control, this is the moment when we find the setup and the balance between power and technical parts. Yeah. So just keep this in mind, that it's almost impossible to keep that balance the entire year. Yeah. Good. How to get this now? On the other hand, if you have dogs, and I have seen this more than once in my life, when you have a perfect technical healing and they're really almost straight like an arrow, then they are running short power. The moment you put on a little bit more power, you're like, wow, now they have power. But now the ass comes out, the rear end from the dog comes out a little. So you would lose another point because he's not correct, right? So with some dogs, it is almost mission impossible to achieve the balance from 50-50. And if you have to make a decision now, that's me, I rather go for a little bit more power and a little less technical parts than the opposite. Right. So this is one thing what you have to figure out for your dog. And it's super, super hard because you are the only one who can, not who can see that. You are the one who has to live with that. Let's put it this way. I had these discussions with so many handlers. I was like, from the outside, hey, it looks awesome. Keep it exactly that way. And the handler was like, yeah, you know what? There is a little lack of power and he could be a little bit more power. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you earn 15 points and you are so close to that, right? So as I said, you have to live with that. So let's sum this up. It is your dog. It is your training, and you have to like it. That's important. Of course, when you go for a trial, there are judges. They may like your style of training. For me, for instance, I have a dog who is healing with a head up in the neck, right? Some people say, hey, that's unnatural, so I lose some points. But important is for me that I like it. I spend most of my time in training. From 52 weekends, let's say 48 weekends, I'm out with my friends and train, and I want to have a great time. And if I'm lucky, the other weekends I go for a trial and a competition, and then it depends all on the preferences from the judge. And why I'm saying that? Because it is what it is. I give an example. You go for tracking. There are some judges that say, hey, I want a dog that is focused, concentrated. And some dogs are doing this with a tail down. Other judges are like, no, I need to see that the dog is motivated and powerful. So if your dog is not wagging the tail, you won't score an excellent in tracking. So yes, we have a rule book, and yes, there are some guidelines. And at the end of the day, judges are human beings. Human beings are preferences, and the same is true for you. So follow your heart. Have a good day.